We lose about 50 to 100 hairs every day, and our hair grows back at about half an inch per month on the average. Our hair grows fastest in the summer with the heat, and also conversely, it grows slower in the cold winter months. Isn't that interesting? Now, more rapid hair loss starts at around age 40, whether you're a man or woman, and it tends to accelerate once we reach about, when we get to our 50s. And the human adult body has an average of 5 million hairs, and only about 100,000 to 150,000 of those hairs are actually located in or on our scalp. Hair loss is an issue that both my husband and I have faced for different reasons, and we have battled with it and overcome it. This is a question also that a lot of people have. Now, for my husband, he started losing his hair when he was young, when he wasn't in his 40s or 50s. He was like more in his 20s or late 20s and 30s. And so he, for him, it was more a matter of nutrition. And the reason why I say that is because when he improved his nutrition, when we improved our, the way we eat and took certain supplements, which I'll talk about later, it stopped his hair loss. And for me, it had to do with hypothyroidism. So it's very common for women who are going through menopause to lose their hair. Either it falls out or it starts getting thinner. And this is because of the various changes in our hormones, when we begin menopause. And of course, there are natural hormone balancing protocols that you can practice to reverse the hair loss. And also, as I mentioned earlier, low levels of thyroid hormone can also result in hair loss in both men and women. So thyroid hormone hair loss is not only attached to women. Men can also suffer from it, suffer from hypothyroidism. And hypothyroidism often develops around menopause or can even develop during pregnancy. And not only hypothyroidism, which is when your thyroid underproduces hormones, but even hyperthyroidism can also be the cause of hair loss. The symptoms of hair loss include a receding hairline, thinning hair, and hair that falls out in patches. Now, all of us grow new strands of hair to replace the ones that have naturally been shed and fall out. And so there's no reason to worry about, for you, a few strands of hair that come out with brushing or that go down your drain after a shower. Hair loss is only a potential problem if it gets more serious, if your hair starts noticeably thinning or balding, or even you start getting patches. But even then, it could still be a normal part of life. However, that doesn't mean that there's not something that you can do about it, even if it's normal. A lot of times that just means that in our society today, we are very used to doing very unhealthy things, and having unhealthy habits is normal. Now, of course, genes play a part. Our genes and our hormones, those play the biggest parts. But there are still things that you can do to improve your hair as much as possible, as much as you can. We can't control our genes, but there's a lot that we can control. And also, our lifestyle is often the trigger for our genes. So we may have the genes for something such as hair loss, but it is our lifestyle that triggers it to go off. When men bald, it's usually through a receding hairline, and loss of hair especially on the crown of the head. And around age 40, about 2/3 of Caucasian men are noticeably bald. Now, for women, it's usually just a general thinning of the hair all over the head and a moderate loss of hair around the crown or our hairline. And it also happens between the ages of 30 and 40, and it becomes more apparent during and after menopause for women. About 50% of children with a parent who is balding, of either sex, either men or women, will inherit the dominant baldness gene. 50%, half. Now, besides age and genetics, the main culprit in balding is, or appears to be, an overabundance or overactivity of the male hormone DHT, dihydrotestosterone, within the hair follicle. And I won't go into that, but the activity of this enzyme tends to increase as people, especially men, age. And it also causes the hair follicle to degrade, and it shortens the growth phase. Some of these hair follicles die, but most of them shrink and just start producing weaker hairs that become thinner, sometimes to the point where they fall out from normal daily activities. And another important hormone that affects hair loss is progesterone. And menopausal women commonly find improvement when they use natural progesterone and estrogen for excessive hair loss. And we'll talk more about that later as well. I'd like to review some of the root causes of hair loss. But before I do that, I wanted to just go ahead and share with you that the resources, the slides for this holistic health and healing lesson, this wellness webinar, can be found at arukah.com, arukah.com/hair. Okay. And so it'll have the slides and links and all the various recommendations as far as herbs and supplements and diet that we're going to be talking about. So first of all, one of the major causes of hair loss is stress. And stress is really one of the root causes of so many issues. I mean, cancer, hair loss, hypothyroidism, many things, migraines, many common things. Even the common, cold, even, the flu is aggravated by stress. When you don't take care of yourself enough because you're stressed out, you start not sleeping right, not eating right, and just lowering your immune system because all of the negative energy that comes with stress. So the effects of stress can definitely cause hair loss and thinning in both men and women. And generally, this type of hair loss or thinning is reversible after you have brought your stress levels down and you have dealt with your stress sufficiently. And there are also various autoimmune disorders and other systemic diseases that can lead to hair loss. And this includes many conditions ranging from psoriasis, which is a skin disorder, as well as thyroid disease. And I've mentioned hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism earlier, as well as cancer. And also these things, psoriasis, thyroid disorder, and cancer, these are also stress induced, or at least aggravated by stress. So stress is even the root to some of these disorders that can cause hair loss. So stress may be a direct cause of hair loss, or it may be indirect, but stress is very important to deal with. If you want to be healthy or want to heal from anything, you have to de-stress your life, stop worrying, stop taking so much on, stop pushing yourself so much, forgive yourself more, forgive others more, things like that. Other reasons for hair loss and thinning include strict dieting. And this is because oftentimes when people engage in strict dieting, they They subject themselves to malnutrition unknowingly. Also, heavy metal toxicity from arsenic, for example, chemotherapy and severe illness, of course. Also, several different nutrient deficiencies, specific nutrition deficiencies can cause hair loss or brittleness or thinning of the hair. We'll talk about that later as well. And in women, the most common deficiency that causes hair loss is iron deficiency. So you can go to your doctor to test for iron deficiency, but actually, I think you can even test for iron deficiency using an at-home test that you can buy from Amazon. You can Amazon.com, or there's other testing sources. You basically purchase a kit, they mail it to you, and you submit a sample and send it to their lab, and then they give you the results. So whether you have a temporary or permanent hair loss condition, there are a lot of complementary or alternative or natural therapies that can help you improve your hair and scalp health. They may or may not be able to completely reverse permanent baldness, but there are many treatments that can encourage small but significant growth. So for example, for my husband, he was able to just simply stop hair loss. He was able to stop his hairline from receding as it started to do by giving his body better nutrition. And for myself, I was losing hair because of hypothyroidism. And I not only stopped the hair loss, I started growing back my hair like it was before I started getting hypothyroidism. So it really depends on what is causing it. If it's malnutrition, you can reverse it. You can stop it by giving your body proper nutrition, and you may even be also able to reverse it. And if it's because of a hormone imbalance, if it's an unnatural hormone imbalance, such as hypothyroidism, then you can reverse it, as I did. And if it's a natural part of just aging, menopausal hormone imbalance, then you can stop or slow it and maybe even improve it. So root causes can include heredity, hormone imbalance, particularly thyroid, menopause, stress, chemotherapy, hypothyroidism, autoimmune disorders, crash or fad diets, serious illness, especially with a high fever, pregnancy, syphilis, extremely high doses of vitamin A, nutritional deficiencies, heavy metal toxicity, poor scalp circulation. There's researchers in Asia that believe that that can contribute to hair loss, poor scalp circulation, and also malabsorption of nutrients, as I was speaking about, especially because of my husband. And parasites can also cause this malabsorption. So the malabsorption can come from not eating the right kinds of foods. It can come from strict dieting. It can come from an impacted feces and your body's inability to assimilate nutrients because of that, and also parasites. So it may very well be because of, just heredity, genes, stress, aging, whatever, these natural things that could be causing your hair loss. But if you are taking any of the following types of medications, it is the medications that could definitely be causing the hair loss as well. This includes cholesterol-lowering drugs, such as clofibrate and gemfibrozil, Atramid S or Lopid, Parkinson medications such as levodopa, Dopar, Laradopa, ulcer drugs such as cimetidine, Tagamet, ranitidine, Zantac, and famotidine, Pepcid, anticoagulants such as coumarin and heparin, agents for gout such as allopurinol, xyloprim, sorry. It's hard to pronounce a lot of these crazy drugs. And of course, as you all know, I don't take any pharmaceutical drugs. I haven't for about 18 years or so, 19. Anti-arthritic medications such as penicillamine, Auranofin, Radara. You guys can just download the notes because it's very hard for me to pronounce all these things. Anyways, drugs derived from vitamin A, like Accutane and Tegasin, anticonvulsants for epilepsy, such as Tridione, antidepressants, such as tricyclics and amphetamines, beta blocker drugs for high blood pressure, like Tenormin, Lipressor, Corguard, Inderal, Locadrin, anti-thyroid agents such as carbimazole, iodine, thiocyanate, thiuracil, and also blood thinners, male hormones, anabolic steroids, and chemotherapeutic agents. So these types of medications could also be causing hair loss. So if that's the case and you want to stop it, something that you could try is to try to figure out a way to manage your health and healing without these pharmaceutical drugs. It's absolutely possible. So a whole foods, nutrient-rich diet is so important for healthy hair growth, for stopping hair loss, for reversing hair loss, etc. And there are a lot of good food choices that can help us to stop and regrow our hair. And these are some of the best. Okay. So number one, first thing I'd like to talk about is organic foods. It's so important that we eat organic as much as possible. And this is because organic foods are free of chemicals. Well, as much as possible anyways. I mean, I know that, there's talk about how organic, even if they have the organic label, they're coming out with organic chemicals. But still, it's still much better than conventional foods. There's been a lot of experiments and tests done that prove that eating organic foods reduces the types of endocrine disruptive chemicals in your body, which can interfere with hair growth. So these endocrine disruptors increase production of certain hormones. They decrease the production of other hormones. They imitate hormones. They turn some hormones into others. They interfere with hormone signaling. They tell your cells to die prematurely. They compete with essential nutrients. They bind to essential hormones, and they accumulate in organs that produce hormones. So these are the dangers of these hormones, and organic foods are going to be filled with a lot less of these dangerous chemicals that affect your hormones and also the absorption of nutrients. Another good food for hair loss is pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are very high in zinc, and zinc is necessary for healthy hair. And research has shown that a zinc deficiency is linked with hypothyroidism and hair loss. Another excellent food, one of my favorites for hair loss, is wild-caught fish. Wild-caught as opposed to farm-raised. Wild-caught fish, like salmon, are high in omega-3 fats, and this decreases inflammation while supporting hair growth and hair thickening. So this is a very important food and nutrient, omega-3, and this is important for so many things, not just hair loss, so many things. So it's so good. So good for you. Another great food is bone broth. Bone broth is high in protein and collagen is great for your hair, skin, and nails. It has amino acids. And bone broth is just the perfect food for encouraging healthy hair growth. It's great for your gut. It's great for your immune system because it's good for your gut. Bone broth is such an awesome food. And what I do is I purchase bones from the store and I just cook it in my slow cooker. I have a slow cooker and I'll just cook it all day. And then I'll use the broth and I'll cook it again for another day, all day long. And we'll use it for soups. We'll use it for making rice. It's bone broth is a superfood because of the collagen, and it's so lacking in our modern diet today, where our ancestors certainly ate a lot more bone broth anyways. So bone broth. Green tea also helps to promote detoxification, and it has antioxidants that promote hair growth. And then there's super seeds such as chia, flax, and hemp seeds, which are high in fiber and healthy fats, and they can help also aid in hair growth. And also, believe it or not, caffeine, technically not a food, but caffeine has been shown to spur hair growth. According to research, caffeine can stimulate your hair shafts and help them grow faster by damping down the effects of DHT, DHT is a substance that infamously slows hair growth. So caffeine, when I say caffeine, I believe that the healthiest way to get caffeine is through consuming white tea. White tea has it's the highest in antioxidants. It's also the least cooked or processed. Of course, there's caffeine in coffee. If you're gonna drink coffee, the light roast would have the most caffeine. The lighter roasts, not the darker roasts, but the lighter ones. It's important to get organic coffee because it's such a major crop. It's very often contaminated with chemicals, and that's again going back to the first thing I was talking about with how organic foods are very important for preventing and reversing hair loss. Now, these are some foods that you want to try to avoid or minimize as much as possible if you want to regrow your hair or stop hair loss. And these are going to be foods that you want to avoid, even in general, for general health, and also if you want to heal of anything, really, even if it's like the common cold, or. Okay, first of all, you got to avoid trans fatty acids. Unlike good fats, trans fatty acids have been shown to increase inflammation and the production of DHT, which can cause hair loss. You want to especially stay away from hydrogenated oils like corn oil, soybean oil, vegetable oil, which are loaded with trans fats. In my family, in my household, we only use olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. And we only use olive oil. We don't cook with it. We don't cook with olive oil normally. We just put it like on salads, we eat it uncooked. And we do cook with avocado oil and coconut oil, but we don't use it a lot. We don't fry a lot of our food because it's just not healthy, fried foods. Okay, next is sugar. You want to definitely avoid sugar, especially white sugar, because it plays a role in hormone imbalance, and it contributes also to insulin resistance and increases DHT and causes inflammation, all of which can lead to hair loss. Another thing that you want to definitely avoid is processed foods. You want to minimize that as much as possible. Foods, fast foods, junk foods, these are often loaded with unhealthy fats, sugar, and sodium, and they're very counterproductive to healthy hair growth and just overall health in general. So no more, Doritos, McDonald's, candy, chips, stuff like that. Alcohol. Alcohol can increase inflammation and also cause liver toxicity, which lead to hair loss. And we're talking about heavy drinking as well as smoking have both been linked to increased risk of hair loss. I do drink wine and alcohol just once a week. It's part of our Jewish tradition to drink a glass of wine every Shabbat. with a meal, and that's it. Just don't overdo it, you know, just do it on special occasions, basically. Also caffeine. Now, I know I did say earlier that in small amounts, organic coffee or white tea can help to stimulate hair growth. But if you overdo it, it can cause dehydration and hormone imbalances. It can contribute to adrenal fatigue and disruption of the adrenal gland, and also your thyroid hormones, and also the production of DHT, which can cause hair loss. So avoid these things like the plague. Now I'd like to share the top 6 herbs and supplements recommended by Dr. James Balch. He's a holistic medical doctor, and also his wife, Phyllis Balch, who is a nutritionist and herbalist. I really like a lot of their suggestions when it comes to herbs and supplements. So first is saw palmetto. You can take 320 to 400 milligrams daily. Another thing I like about the suggestions is they believe in heroic doses, as one of my teachers, Master Herbalist Richard Schultz, used to recommend heroic doses for when it comes to herbs and supplements. And that's the kind of dosage that you need for healing, okay, for healing anything. 320 to 400 milligrams daily of saw palmetto. Again, you can get the slides and resources for this lesson at aruka.com/hair. Okay. So saw palmetto is a natural DHT blocker that can greatly improve your hair growth. Another thing is silicone or orthosilicic acid. You can take 10 milligrams of that daily to support hair growth. Silica is also great, and you can it's related to this, and you can get that from the herb horsetail grass. And I drink horsetail grass on a regular basis. Also, biotin is really good for your hair. You can take 2,000 to 3,000 mcg daily. Next, you can take also EFAs or omega-3. And we talked about omega-3 earlier when we talked about wild-caught fish, salmon. But for just a supplement, I would take 4,000 milligrams of fish or flaxseed oil. You can also take evening primrose oil or borage oil that has 200 milligrams of GLA daily. But I think the most important, personally, is the fish oil, omega-3 oil from fish. Now, I'm giving you the top 6, and you might be wondering, well, which should I take? My personal approach, especially if I'm really, really serious, if it's really, really a problem for me, what I would do is I would take all of these. I would take all of these top 6 supplements. Just take them all. Next is MSM. MSM, you can take 3,000 milligrams daily. And also faux tea. And faux tea is a common herb in Chinese herbalism. You can take 500 milligrams 3 times daily of the faux tea. Now, this is a Chinese herb that's used by practitioners of Oriental medicine to slow or stop hair loss. And it's mainly used in formulas with other herbs. So MSM, now going back to MSM, this is the mineral sulfur, which helps promote hair development. So the MSM is for sulfur. And yeah, so those are the top 6. So now I'd like to talk about some nutritional supplements that you can take to combat hair loss due to malnutrition. And this is really what this is a big part of what helped my husband to stop his hair loss. We started taking Richard Schultz's Superfood Plus powder, and I provide a link for it in when you download the notes at ruka.com/hair. And the one thing is, though, this Richard Schultz's superfood powder is geared towards people who are vegan because he recommends a vegan diet. So it has a lot of nutritional yeast for the B vitamins. And I personally do not like the nutritional yeast because, well, doesn't taste very good to me, at least not with a superfood powder. I like to drink my superfood powder in juice, watered down juice, and that's how my children take it too. And this is what we take, this superfood powder. We take it instead of vitamins. So we used to buy Richard Schultz's formula, but it's actually because we took it so much, we started just making it ourselves, and we omitted the nutritional yeast. We didn't put the nutritional yeast in ours because we're not vegan. We do not do well on a vegan diet. I had serious health issues twice because of trying to go vegan. So I do not believe that the vegan diet is ideal for all people at all times. It can be good and beneficial for healing for a short time, but not for the long run. So I disagree with Richard Schultz on that, but I do love his herbal formulas and his superfood formulas. So if you're going to make your own so that you can get the lowest price on superfoods, I would suggest getting the herbs from pacificbotanicals.com. And they have a specific part of their website that is geared towards superfoods, and I just go ahead and buy all of them, or almost all of them anyways. And I'll change it up a little bit. Sometimes I'll omit one or two here. And you could just, you can rotate if you only buy one at a time. But the best is to get all of them. The way we do it is we get all of them, all the superfoods, and mix it together, and then take that in some watered down juice. My children take, I think, a teaspoonful, and I will take a tablespoonful. When I'm pregnant, I'll do 2 tablespoons full. It's very safe, very nutritious, very healthy. And this will help you make up for the nutrition that you may lack from a poor diet, or also just from poor absorption of nutrients from your diet. And I'm going to talk more about the actual ingredients in the superfoods formula in a superfoods video, which I plan to create. But for now, just, go ahead and download the resources, and you can get a link to either Richard Schultz's superfoods formula or the Pacific Botanicals page that lists all of their superfoods that they sell. So next thing that's really important for to get the maximum amount of nutrition to fight hair loss is to consume full spectrum enzymes. You can take them with each meal to improve the absorption of foods and nutrients. There's also foods that are really good that have natural enzymes, such as papaya and pineapple and other foods like that. But of course, it's really easy to just take a full spectrum enzyme. And I really like this brand here displayed in the notes, Blue Bonnet. They have the full spectrum enzymes by Blue Bonnet. And you can get that from Amazon, or you can get that elsewhere online. Now, for hair loss due to menopause and hormone imbalance because of menopause, I would recommend this Naturoprogesterone cream, Wild Yam Progesterone. I really like this brand, also Wise Women Essentials. So this is helpful for women with low levels of progesterone, especially women in menopause. Now, I'm going to also, I'm going to create a program specifically for helping women in menopause, but this is just, one thing, a really good thing that they can take for hair loss due to menopause. Now for hair loss due to hypothyroidism, I'm going to create a series on that as well, because that's a really important subject to me since I suffered from it. And I already have a video out on hyperthyroidism, so you can search on my website or my YouTube channel for those. Okay. And I'll also link to it in the resources section in the notes for here. Now let's talk about rosemary essential oil. Okay. So rosemary essential oil, you can apply 3 to 5 drops per 1 ounce of shampoo daily and rub that into your scalp whenever you shampoo your hair. This will improve scalp circulation. As I mentioned before, there are those who believe that poor circulation in the scalp is one of the factors of hair loss. So just measure out, how many ounces of shampoo are in your shampoo bottle. And for every ounce, I would add 5 drops of rosemary essential oil. Rosemary is one of the top essential oils when it comes to enhancing hair thickness and growth. It's believed to increase cellular metabolism that stimulate hair growth. And there's research that's been published in 2015 that showed that rosemary oil appears also to work as well as minoxidil, which is a conventional topical hair loss treatment. So this is a really good one, rosemary essential oil. Now let's talk about rosemary essential oil. Okay. So rosemary essential oil, you can apply 3 to 5 drops per 1 ounce of shampoo daily and rub that into your scalp whenever you shampoo your hair. This will improve scalp circulation. As I mentioned before, there are those who believe that poor circulation in the scalp is one of the factors of hair loss. So just measure out, how many ounces of shampoo are in your shampoo bottle. And for every ounce, I would add 5 drops of rosemary essential oil. Rosemary is one of the top essential oils when it comes to enhancing hair thickness and growth. It's believed to increase cellular metabolism that stimulate hair growth. And there's research that's been published in 2015 that showed that rosemary oil appears also to work as well as minoxidil, which is a conventional topical hair loss treatment. So this is a really good one, rosemary essential oil. B complex and B12. Now, a B complex supplement helps to combat the effects of stress and contains vitamins in the B family that contribute to healthy hair. So you can take a 50 milligram complex of B complex twice daily. B vitamins aid in healthy stress management. Biotin or B7 helps to thicken your hair and naturally, and vitamin B5 or pantothenic acid supports your adrenal glands. Now, a B12 deficiency may be at the root of hair loss, and stress depletes B12. So you can take B12, 200 to 400 micrograms of the sublingual form daily. And personally, I take both B complex and B12 when I need both. B12 is just so important. I have a lot of stress in my life. I have 9 children to take care of. I homeschool. I run a business, several businesses actually. So for me, B12 is very, very important. So I'll take the B complex, but I'll also take the B12. Zinc is a mineral that's required for hair development. And remember, earlier I talked about eating pumpkin seeds because of its zinc content. So with a supplement zinc, you can take 30 milligrams daily along with 3 milligrams of copper to help with hair growth. Earlier, we also talked about how bone broth is really good to consume for hair loss, to help with hair loss. But you can also get your daily dose of bone broth from a protein powder or a collagen powder. That's what we take at home. Me and my children, we take a collagen powder. Bone broth powder is rich in protein, collagen, gelatin, glucosamine, chondroitin, and key minerals often missing in the average diet. And these vital nutrients support and promote healthy hair growth, as well as a wide range of additional health benefits. So we consume the bone broth. I make bone broth, but I don't do that like every day. I'll do it every week. Once a week, I'll make bone broth and we'll eat it. But about every day or every other day, we will take a collagen powder and mix it. I'll mix it in with tea or a smoothie or a juice, and my children and I will all take collagen that way. Now let's talk about ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen herb, and this helps your body adapt and deal with stress, balance hormones, and reduce cortisol levels, also known as the aging hormone. And this can all help encourage healthy hair growth. And ashwagandha is actually one of the herbs in my daily intake of herbs and supplements that I use for hypothyroidism, which is, as stated earlier, a cause for hair loss, especially for me. So you can take 500 milligrams daily of ashwagandha. They also have ashwagandha tea. So ashwagandha. Now let's talk about the last 4 naturopathic herbal supplements that can help with hair loss. First is Pygeum. You can take 100 milligrams twice daily, and this addresses the cause of hair loss by blocking the DHT binding sites and improving prostate health. There's also pumpkin seed oil, which you can take 8 grams or 1 tablespoon daily. And this inhibits the DHT formation throughout the body and contains fatty acids that support thick hair. Remember, we talked about pumpkin seed and zinc from pumpkin seeds earlier. Also aloe vera juice, half a cup twice daily, and also in your shampoo, as well as taking it internally twice daily. Aloe vera juice can help naturally thicken hair. And lastly, rhodiola, 500 milligrams daily. This is another awesome adaptogen herb like ashwagandha to help with stress and just cultivate hair growth. So don't forget to download the resources at aruka.com/hair. You'll get the slides for this wellness webinar, as well as links to the various things that I talked about. So if you are interested in personal health coaching, you can go ahead and visit my website at aruka.com, arukah.com/start/coaching. Or if you just visit the website, you can, on the top menu there, you can click on Get Healthy and then go down to Personal Coaching. And I'd love to chat with you and answer any of your questions with some holistic answers. From me, I'm a naturopathic herbalist and holistic life coach. Shalom. Shalom, my name is Mayim, and I'm a naturopathic herbalist and holistic life coach. And I'm the founder of the Aruka Holistic Life Academy. Our students learn how to become effective healers using nutrition, herbs, and other holistic healing methods. I have found that to become a holistic healer, you, number one, don't need to be licensed. Although some of our students are medical professionals, doctors, nurses, etc., but you don't need a medical degree or a license to become a holistic healer. Number two, you don't need to study for 4 or more years in college. And number three, you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars for a medical degree or a nutrition degree or any other kind of expensive degree. I don't have any of these things, yet I have built a profitable online health coaching business. And I'll tell you the 8 things, though, that I have found that you do need. Without these 8 things, healers are ineffective and lack confidence in being a holistic healer. And most holistic schools and certification programs don't incorporate all 8 of these secrets, which is why many graduate from them, from nutrition schools or health coaching schools or herbalist schools, etc., feeling inadequate as a healer. So I would like to share with you my secrets on how I became an effective holistic healer and built a profitable online health coaching business. You can become the healer of your home and your community without the need for pharmaceutical drugs with dangerous side effects, hospitals, doctors, or even dentists. You can build a profitable online health coaching business without the need for years of college for an expensive degree. My mission is to show you how. Visit my website at www.aruka.com/free to get my 8 secrets on how to become an effective holistic healer.